All right. Hello, and welcome to the sixth episode of ACK and Friends. We'll start in a few seconds. All right. Okay, so welcome to ACK and Friends. We are on our sixth episode now, and where we bring to you bring to you things and delight from the children's literature world in India. Amar Chitra Katha has been telling stories from India to children for 53 years now. India has always had a lot of great literature to offer, and a big part of that are the stories that have been written for children. Today, there are a lot of wonderful authors who are writing joyful and important stories. We hope to give you a sneak peek into this delightful world of Indian kids' literature. Today, we have with us Ashok Rajagopalan. Let me tell you a little bit about him. Ashok Rajagopalan writes and illustrates children's books with over 500 books credited to his name. His mission in life is to make people laugh, especially little people. His funny and evocative illustrations fill the pages of many Tulika books, and his all-time favorite, even in our house, is the Gajapati Kulapati series. So please welcome Ashok.
Hi, am I on screen?
You are, yes, you are. Hello.
Okay. Hi, hello, hi, and thank
Hi.
you for coming.
Thank you so much, Ashok. Thank you for being here. We are very,
Thank
very excited to talk to you. And
you.
everybody who's watching, if you all have any questions for Ashok as we go along, please feel free to ask them in the comments, and I will put your questions to Ashok in between. I'll insert them. Let's start, Ashok. Let's start with 500 books. Does it feel like you've done 500 books? I mean,
A
yeah.
small clarification. The It's not 500 books.
Okay.
It is 500 literature. Actually,
Hmm.
somewhere I must have said something which caught on, and this 500 books thing.
Well, we are going to go with that because I've seen your name
No,
now.
it includes magazine issues.
Huh.
Um, and not picture books, not just picture books. It includes magazine issues and comics and a lot of things together. I tried to make a list. It crossed 300. So 300 is safer. I'm not
Well,
sure about 500.
well, you've been doing this for quite some time now. In fact, for someone who started out as a mechanical engineer, am I right? That's what you studied. So,
I,
for someone
I studied mechanical engineering, but I
yes,
hate
studied.
it. I ran away from the field. I didn't actually mechanical engineer. I was in marketing. Mm.
All right. But
Uh,
for someone who started out as a mechanical engineer, then went on to marketing, how do you end up illustrating and writing for kids? Tell us a
Add
little bit about it.
luckily, you should add luckily to
Yes,
the
definitely. I agree. Luckily.
those days. Now if a child says, good these days. If a child says, I want to become an artist or a writer. Oh, okay, that's what the child wants to do. So let the child grow up to become whatever he or she wants. Is
Yeah,
how parents
absolutely.
look at it now. But
Yeah.
those days, and so parents listen to their children these days. Those days,
Hmm.
children listen to their parents.
Yeah, absolutely. That's true.
And an artist or a writer wasn't a proper job. And
I
so my parents, I didn't think of telling them I wanted to become like a dream. I would have told them, not as a plan. So
huh.
I like you wish, no, things like that. I wished I was a writer or an artist, but I would have to go to the company where my father worked, who make wheels. So
Okay.
so best for me. So it wasn't an argument. I thought that is what is the proper thing to do. So that's why. And then after and worked in marketing technical products. I was once the only representative of Intel in India. Uh,
Wow. All right. We seem to have lost Ashok for a bit. Let's just give it a moment. He'll be back soon. In the meantime, let me tell you a little bit about. All right. So, in the meantime, let me tell you a little bit about the book we are going to discuss today. So, the book Ashok is here to discuss, and we are hoping that he'll be back soon. He must have had some internet glitch at his end. We have him back. Hello, Ashok.
okay. Am I on now?
Yes, you did drop out for a bit, but you're back. We are glad.
Am I on?
Yeah, because I was going to start talking in great
Okay,
detail
so where
about your
was I?
book.
Yeah. So
Huh.
after 3 years in marketing, okay, uh, after 3 years in marketing, I heard about a place.
Yeah, you're still here. Ashok, can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Oh, okay. Um, so after 3 years, I heard about a place who graphics. So I just applied for a job there and joined there in marketing. And then
Okay.
after in 1989, I asked for a job in the studio artist training, and
All right.
that's where I started.
Okay.
That's why
All right.
how I became an artist, an
Okay.
illustrator. Hmm.
Okay. All right. So, moving on to, I'm going to address the elephant in the room, and that is Gajapati Kulapati. We are great fans. I have all three books, and I just want to say that our family loves Gajapati Kulapati. From grandparents to grandson, everybody plays, enacts, and becomes all the characters of Gajapati Kulapati. So, please tell us a little bit about how this oh so wonderful character came to be. We have lost. Yes. Ashok, did you get my question?
No,
All right. So basically, if you could tell us a little bit about how Gajapati Kulapati came to be, this wonderfully beautiful elephant. Okay. All right. We are having some great difficulty connecting to Ashok. Um, in the meantime, I'm going to tell you about Gajapati Kulapati. That is the um, book. So if anybody has not read, and if you have little kids, I say that you should read Gajapati Kulapati. It's for everybody. You will never tire of saying the name again and again. And it's about this elephant who lives in this village with all these, with a postman and a teacher, and all kinds of fun things happen. And yeah, it's a wonderfully beautiful picture book. And yeah, that's Gajapati Kulapati. I hope that Ashok is able to come back and tell us a little bit about how he went about bringing this to life, because he has both written and illustrated the book. Um, Today, he is with us to talk about his book, Hasya, which I'm going to tell you a little bit about while we wait for him to get back to us. Um, is that so? The characters are familiar territory for us as well. Is because We the characters are all from Indralok, and there is Indra and his brothers Agni, Surya, and everybody, and they are very baffled because they go to fight with their enemies, the Asuras, and of course, the Asuras are having come without weapons, and they are just not in the mood to fight, and Indra is very confused because he's never met anybody who's doesn't want to fight, and we have Ashok back. Hi, Ashok.
Hi, oh, am I back? I just switched connections.
Okay, great. So I hope that this one sticks now. Let's. If you could tell us about Gajapati Kulapati, I was giving
Okay.
everybody who's watching a little bit about what the elephant does and where he lives with, and just tell us how this beautiful elephant came to be.
All by, I think, some kind of luck, actually.
Huh.
I attended a poetry workshop by Suniti Nam Joshi,
Okay.
uh, conducted by Tulika, even before I joined Tulika. And in that, it was a poetry workshop, and she said how poetry could be incorporated into prose. Uh,
Huh.
Even prose can have rhythm and beat, and so I wanted to write a story like that. So, which is why the
Huh.
name Gajapati Kulapati, which I claim
Yeah.
is the sound of an elephant walking. No, Gajapati Kulapati.
Oh, okay.
And that is why I wrote Gajapati Kulapati is a big elephant. Gajapati Kulapati is the smallest, or small noses catch small coals, big noses catch
Huh.
big coals. So that is all directly, it's a direct influence of that poetry workshop. So this was
Okay.
written 20 years ago, and
Yeah.
that was the first story I wrote. It was meant for a children's reading session, a read aloud session. It wasn't meant to be
Oh,
printed as a book. So that is why
well.
all those loud noises and all that.
Huh.
And that is why it is a storyteller's favorite, because it has all these noises. It was meant to
Yes,
be
it
a,
is absolutely delightful. I have to say that we adore Gajapati Kulapati and we love saying the name. And I have a 3-year-old who adores it. And so we are just we are great fans. So uh,
who doesn't
yeah.
love elephants?
Yeah, true. Moving on to so what you excel at writing is humor, and children all over are drawn to it. In fact, we have a comment by a boy by someone called Darsh Menon, who says that he had to learn and tell one of Gajapati Kulapatis, and it was amazing. He had to recite it, and it was amazing. We have a comment saying that, and it's true. Your stories do resonate with everybody, and my question here basically is, why do you think that most adults don't take it as seriously? You know, in the sense whether it comes to reviews or awards, or the funny books always get overlooked. So
ah,
why do you think that happens?
oh, yes, I know. Um, uh, this is true of any form of art. For example, comics and cartoons are
Yeah,
they are a form of art. Hmm? They are
yeah,
as I mean, people have to work hard creating comics and cartoons.
correct.
Um, but something which makes you laugh is not taken seriously. No, that's
Yeah,
how it
that's
is.
true. Yeah.
My favorite author is P.G. Woodhouse. I learned to write from reading his books, but he never won a Nobel Prize in literature. Whereas the serious books get awards and prizes.
Yes.
But I mean, how you can't expect someone to take a funny book seriously. No, it's
Yeah, that's true.
so. But I think people who produce funny literature or any art form which makes people laugh, they are satisfied. Even actors, the the action kind of actors and the romantic actors, they are the ones people admire, or not the comedians. No, comedians make them laugh. It's
Yeah.
like that. What to do? But I'm quite happy making children laugh.
All right. Thank you. I'm going to take a couple of questions here, and maybe show you some of the really nice comments that are coming in for your
Oh.
books and your stories.
Mm.
So, if so, Arnav Gupta asks, can you give some tips on writing? What should he be doing if he wants to write?
Uh, I don't know. There are so many things I can tell him. Um, uh, just
Any
general
one or
tip.
two?
Okay. If he is a funny guy, he should write funny stories. If he's a serious
Okay.
guy, he should write serious stories. So whatever
Huh.
comes natural to you, if you write in that mood, um, your writing will be very, very good.
Okay.
If I write a sad story, it won't be that good as when I write a funny story.
Huh.
Uh, I don't know if he asks me a question, I can answer, but general writing tips, I don't know. Um, uh,
Okay. Arnav, what I'm taking away from this is that you should write what you think you're good at. Like you should start there. Start with what
yes,
you're confident about writing and write.
yes.
Okay. Okay. Then we have a question. We have someone called Peenal Abhishek who says that they are storyteller and one of their favorite stories is Gadupati Kulapati. And
Thank you.
it's a great story by a great heart who truly can think from a children's heart. So that's the
Thank
entire
you, Pinal.
comment.
Thank you,
All
Pinal.
right, I'm going to take another question at this time. Aparna Kapoor asks, what makes you laugh? And do you ever laugh at your own jokes while writing?
Yeah, Aparna. Hi,
Yes.
Aparna. Uh, um, what makes me laugh? Normal things which makes people laugh, but I laugh more than most people. Um, I listen to a lot of people, all kinds of people, all sizes, all shapes,
Huh.
all ages, and so I actually collect funny material when I
Okay.
speak to people, and
Huh.
sitcoms, funny movies, um, anything funny in any language,
All right.
funny books, funny essays, funny memes,
Okay.
all funny things on the internet. Except I don't like unkind humor.
Huh.
I like, for example, sarcasm. I don't get it properly. So I like a kind of kindly humor. So almost anything funny. I watch a lot of TV. So anything
Okay.
funny, I laugh. I laugh at my own jokes? Not much.
Okay.
Um, I write to make other people laugh, but I don't think I laugh at my own jokes. Mm.
All right. Okay, so let's talk about the book we are here to discuss, Ha Ha Hasya, and
Yeah.
so there is so much fiction being written around mythology and these characters, like they have featured in a lot of books. So was it a challenge to find a unique voice for them?
Yes. Yeah. And by the way,
Okay.
another writing tip, then bonus tip is
Huh.
um, almost an extension of the first tip. So
Okay.
if you're what you are, I mean, every person speaks differently.
Correct.
Uh,
Yeah.
everyone has a unique personality. So you communicate with that personality sincerely. So
Huh.
if I write a book based on mythology, it will be different from someone else's. So this
Absolutely. Yeah.
is my kind of writing. So, but I
Yeah.
don't mm, deliberately try to be different or do anything like that.
Okay.
I just
Okay.
I, uh,
Yeah,
yes.
because uh, yeah, because one of the things that jumped out to me while I was reading the book was that the levity with which the dialogues have been written, and so did you find it hard to like balance like the regality of the gods that surrounds it and the light dialogue that goes around it?
You read the book. Thank you.
Yeah.
Did you laugh?
Yes, I did. I
Thank
certainly
you.
did. All the conversations made me really laugh.
Okay. So I don't get the question probably. Was it difficult to write to make light of the gods?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Was it a hard thing to do?
I was afraid to make. I didn't. I don't like to offend people, so I was
Huh.
afraid to make to do. But since I'm not very cruel in my humor, or I'm not very nasty, I thought it is all
Huh.
right. And
Yeah,
I,
yeah.
I, I stuck to the gods who are usually made fun of, no, even in mythology.
That's
So, and
okay.
I created a new character. I created a
All
demigod.
right. Okay. Yes, yes, yeah, exactly. So,
But
okay,
like
yes.
one thing I want to say is my
All right. Ashok has fallen off again. And hopefully he shall be back. We are having a very in and out, little tumultuous conversation, but I'm sure he'll be back and we'll do a quick reading from his book. Um, yeah. Hi, Ashok. You vanished again.
my favorite characters, not any of the gods, but the Asura girl. By the
All
way,
right. Okay. Okay. So, Ashok, why don't you read a little bit from the book now? We would really
may I?
like to hear. Yes, please.
Okay, but a small apology in advance. This is a book which is meant to be read. I don't know whether it will work like Gajapati Kulapati. No,
Huh,
noises.
but that's okay. You can read a little bit. Just give us an introduction into
So,
Indra and all the other gods, and
so,
because we have a whole bunch of questions waiting for you from everybody who's watching. So
so
yeah,
do I read
yes, please
two
read.
pages?
Yeah,
Two
that would be
pages.
great. Yes, that would be
This
really
is
nice.
the first chapter. I drew the pictures myself.
Yeah.
They asked me to. Okay. So the book is titled Hasya. This is Hasya, and that is Indra. Major confusion in Amaravati. Laughed, roared Indra, silencing the babble with a roll of thunder. By the swan of Brahma and by boom, they laughed. He brandished his weapon, the Vajrayuta, that produced blinding flashes of lightning with every wave of his angry arm. The gods just sat there, strong and silent, not daring to interrupt. Some nursed their aching ears. For those at the back, however, Indra's tirade provided free entertainment. Theirs was a dull life, divine but dull. The gold and marble halls of Amravati were houseful that day. The more important of the devas, or demigods, were seated in court, while crowds of minor devas, or demigods, thronged the grounds. Amravati, as any informed inhabitant of the three worlds would know, was the capital of Swargaloka, abode of the gods, and Devendra was their king, Indra for short. He was also the god of war, lightning, and thunder. Now everybody could easily see why he was in charge of all those noisy departments. Just laughed us out of the booming battlefield, cried Indra. Didn't want to fight, they said. Go home, Indra, take a joke, they said. He almost choked now, recalling the unholy mirth of the Asuras, their traditional enemies. What happened, bro? Whispered Surya, the sun god, to Agni, his younger brother, once removed, and the god of fire. Agni, who had brought some snacks for Indra's show, laid aside his plate of aloo tikki chana. O foremost of the heavenly bodies, began the fire god. O bringer of health, wealth, and light, hissed Surya, dampening the fires of Agni's eloquence. No time for all that. You took part in yesterday's battle with the demons, no? What happened? Brother, you don't know the half of it. What happened? There was no battle. What do you mean, no battle? Asked Surya. A minor eclipse made me weak and unfit to fight, so I wanted the day off. And when I came here to inform our now thundering king of my need for leave of absence, everybody was all armored and sworded and speared. I tell you, all ready to do battle, continued the sun god, an unstoppable ball of fire once he got going. Our king himself, in shiny, spiky armor, was making practice swings of his shiny, spiky weapon. All of you were cheerfully gulping down pots of Amrit. Amrit, as the informed inhabitant would know, being the magic potion that not only tasted heavenly, but with its super healing powers made one temporarily unkillable. Yes, O one who never fails to rise every morn, said Agni. We started. From here, that is. When we reached the land of the Asuras, they came out of their gates unarmed and jolly, laughing. So here's a picture of them laughing and Indra upset. Shall I stop?
Uh, yeah, we can get you back. All right. Thank you so much for that, Ashok. Thank you for that reading. I'm
Ah,
going to now go ask you while everybody is still sending in a couple of more questions. These are four
ah,
questions that I ask everybody who's come on the show. Some quick questions. So you have to give quick answers. All right.
oh my God.
They're just four
Yes.
very quick questions. Are you ready?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. All right. Your first question is what was the last Indian children's book that you loved?
Now I forget. I was on a Ruskin Bond binge. So
Okay.
I don't know what is the last book I read.
That's fine. A Ruskin Bond binge works
Yes.
perfectly as an answer. Okay.
Okay.
So if you had to describe yourself as a genre of literature, which one would you pick?
Myself.
Yes.
Humor.
Yeah.
A funny
Okay. All
story.
right. Okay. Okay. So my next question is one fictional character you would like to befriend. One
I
fictional
would like
character like to be friends with.
ah Swami of
All
Swami and
right. Great. All right.
also can I say two
Yes, yes, definitely.
and Peter Pan.
Okay, great. Those are
Hmm.
some great choices. Okay. All right. The last question is so, as a children's author, I know that a lot of the world doesn't look at the profession very seriously.
Yes.
People are usually dismissive. So, what is the most common reaction or the strangest reaction that you've got when you tell people that you draw and write for kids?
My wife tried to explain to her friend what I do. She
Okay.
never could get it. What does he do? Does he print books? Does he? What does he do? Where does he write?
All
And she
right.
gave up. Mm-mm-mm.
All right. Thank you so much for that. I'm going to now start taking some of the audience questions. Let us start. If Let's see where we should start. There are a bunch. Okay. So Lidwin Mascarena says, as an illustrator writer, do you think in visuals or words?
Hi, Lidwin. Long time. Uh, as an illustrator or as a writer, I think in visuals over.
Yeah, it's an because you're an illustrator and a writer. So do you think in words or do you think in pictures? And Ashok has left again. All right. We are going to wait a little bit. All your questions we are hopefully going to answer. We've had a bit of a glitchy uh, conversation, but it has been great. Uh,
Am I back?
yes, you're back.
I'm
Thank you.
sorry. Yes.
That's perfectly fine. So, if you can tell us, do you think in words or picture?
Yes, when out of work, I mostly think in words. But
Okay.
when I even when I write, I think in terms of visuals,
Okay.
and I try to translate the visuals into words.
All
So
right.
I think in visuals to answer Lidwin.
All right. That sounds great. The
I
next
don't know.
question.
So many friends were on. I
Yeah,
don't.
yeah. Okay, so Mian asks, which software do you use to draw?
Ah, these days I started drawing on paper, pencil, paper, watercolors, pencils, and now I'm back to paper.
Okay.
I use various software to take my pictures into the computer and send them across.
Okay.
Uh, so I use Photoshop and Corel Draw
All right.
like everybody else.
Yeah.
Uh, yes, but most of my work is on
On
paper.
paper. All right. That's great. Let's see the next question. Uh, okay. So Vidula Kafale asks, how do you come up with such creative ideas for your book? Where do the ideas
Hi,
come from?
hi Vidula. I don't know. Sometimes but I can tell you how, in the sense, suppose I need an idea, what do I do? I can tell you that.
Huh.
Uh,
Yes.
I can't answer because I'm a funny person or like that. When I need an idea, I take a walk. I usually go
Okay.
for long walks. Then ideas come. The usual process is I sit and think on what to do. I need a story like this and all that. I think I fill my head up with a lot of ideas which I consciously think deliberately, and then I take a walk or a bath or something, and then it comes back in some kind of an orderly fashion.
Okay. All right.
Uh,
Okay. Then let's see. We have okay. So Minati asks, there are three Gajapati Pulapati books that my 3-year-old grandson loves. Are there any more in the pipeline? Because I hope they are.
Hi, Minati. Yes, there is. I've finished drawing and writing the fourth Gajapati Kulapati. If not for the lockdown, it would be in the hands of your grandchildren now.
All
So
right.
yes, any day it will be the fourth Gajapati will be out. Most
Okay.
probably next month. Hmm.
Huh. Okay, so you skipped out on a little bit, but I'm guessing that there is one, and if it wasn't for the lockdown, it would have already been out. Yes? Is
Yes,
that the gist of it? Okay.
yes. I'm
All right,
I
great.
think they're planning to bring it out next month.
Okay. All right. The internet seems to be playing all kinds of havoc. We are going to take a couple of more questions and then we'll wrap this up. We'll Let's see what we have. Uh,
I got a question from Kalpita. What's the funniest book you have read?
hmm. Okay. Let's see what are the other questions we
Shall I
have.
answer that? Shall I answer this
All right. So,
question?
uh, I'm sorry, which
What
question?
What's the funniest book you have read? It's there on my screen. Kalpita's question. What's the funniest book you have read? Am I live?
Hi, Ashok. I think this is clear because I'm the guy in at the back end. Again, I think
Am
Sanjana's dropped out. We're having major technical
Oh,
issues. But
oh,
yes, please go ahead and answer the question. What is the funniest book you have read, Ashok?
okay. Hi, Kalpita. The funniest book I've read. I was 14, and this is Leave It to Smith by P.G. Woodhouse. Leave It to Smith, P silent, Psmith. Leave It to Smith. That was the funniest book I have read. Am I on screen?
Hey, I'm sorry for dropping out like that. Just one second.
Sure.
So we'll take maybe just one more question and then we'll end the session because
Okay.
the internet is and I think at all three ends the internet is really bad today for some reason.
This time I'm
Uh,
happy to know that it is not my fault.
so our last question for the day is going to be from Arnav Gupta, who I think is asked earlier. But I think this is a nice question. Do you enjoy writing or drawing more?
That is a difficult question. Um, I don't know. Sometimes I feel I enjoy writing more than drawing. Sometimes I feel drawing. So I really don't know. I enjoy doing both.
Okay, that's a very safe answer right there.
Yeah, but that's an honest answer.
That's a, fair enough. Yeah, I mean, you can't really like. It's hard to choose one, no, when you do both, because both
Yeah,
are very different sort of. What do
but
you say?
if you change the question to what do you want to be known as, I want to be known as a writer of funny stories.
Uh, but why not as an artist though?
I'm already known as a illustrator now.
Okay, okay. So now it's about achieving a
Yes.
new breed of her.
Yeah, I'm
Fair enough.
relatively new to the writing. Um,
Lovely. Thank you so much, Ashok, for joining us today. This was
Thank you.
a great session. It's just the internet has been a bit like very unkind today to us for some reason, but
Yes.
it's so nice having you on this show. You're such a nice and warm like presence. Like I mean, I've been smiling throughout this entire interview. I know you guys can only see an orange screen, but like there's a big smile on my face just listening to you talk.
I wish
So
I
thank
could see you and the daughter.
you.
I hope
So
it
thank you so much.
Gajapati Kulapati.
I will. I'm going to definitely buy it for her. She's 7 months now, so I'm still we're
Yeah,
buying
not
lots
now.
of books.
Not now.
But again, on behalf of Amar Chitra Katha, thank you so much for joining us today and like taking us through Hasya. And
Thank you.
I mean, like do stay tuned for more sessions like this. As you can see, it's a very like close knit group. Everybody seems to know everybody. So do come
Yes,
by. And yeah, that's our session. Thank you so much, Ashok.
thank you. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thank you guys. I'm really sorry for all the technical difficulties today. Next week we will have one more. I think Sana's back, so Sana will close this out for us.
Hello, and so sorry for that. Uh,
Sana,
thank
I stepped in. So now you can like just do the final closing honors.
Right. Thank you so much, Ashok, for being here, and thank you for joining us. And I hope that we've been able to answer all of your questions. And see you next week at the same time. We have something very, very special next week. So please mark your calendars and join us next Friday for a lot of fun. Thank you so much, and thank you for staying with us through all the glitches. All right, bye bye, and have a great weekend.